At the time, I was directing a number of music videos for Sydney artists and a music show, the Stella Show, I was producing and directing. We had acts like Josh Pike and the Veronicas, Sneaky Sound System. A lot of big-name Sydney artists were either on the show or I was doing music videos for at the time. And this is why I was doing this interview. And at the end of the interview, a writer by the name of Barry Hyland asked me would I be interested in directing and shooting this film that he had written. And I don't even think I looked at the script, and I rang Barry the next day and said, of course, I'd love to take the project on. Reason being, it was my first chance at getting to direct a film. And it was going to be quite challenging because there were no real actors involved in the production. The film has real people that were involved in the life of this greyhound and his racing career, and they were real people playing the real characters. And a lot of the scenes had to be shot at race courses during races in real moments, and so we sort of had to work around the racetracks and things like that. And the best experience is my favorite shot in the whole film, where I actually had to climb inside the starting gates, and there was an actual race, and I'm in there twisted up with a camera, and they're only about this wide, so the dog actually gets in the gate and you can't turn around, and they're snarling and scratching and carrying on when they hear that lure come around. And I'm all twisted up in there, I could hardly breathe, and I'm holding one camera at the gate, and then I also lined up two other cameras simultaneously, side by side, about half a meter apart from each other, right outside of box one. And the way I cut it, it's only a 2-second scene. Because of the way the cameras are, it looks as if the dogs are rushing, coming straight over top of me inside the gate. It was the only way I could get the shot.
The rabbit, where's the bunny? Vikings run off the track.
And it was an experience because I was actually inside. And the Greyhound Racing Commission, they had it okayed. I was allowed to be there and inside the track. And I mean, people are betting on these dogs, and they didn't want anyone to think that there was some kind of a fiddle going on in there. It was all explained. And other than that, the biggest obstacle we had with making Boxed In was when the lead character Viking drowned. The second day of shooting, I got a phone call from Barry. He was one of the part owners of the dog, and there was a severe thunderstorm way out west of Sydney, where the dog was enclosed in a kennel in a tree. Actually, it crashed into the enclosure. A Viking had escaped. He was swept away in a flood, and they found him in a dam, drowned. So the reaction of the owners of the dog at the time were to cancel the film, and it was the second time in 6 months there was a problem. First, Viking was racing, and he pulled a ligament, and so we couldn't go any further. And then when we started again, then this situation had happened. So, but everybody had a real love for the dog, and so we decided to make Boxed In memory of Viking. Then the next challenge was we couldn't find another white dog, pure white, like Viking. So the film had to be started from scratch, all the shooting again. And I managed to get 4 different black greyhounds. I needed a pup for one scene, obviously, who had never actually raced, so he would react a certain way at the very end of the film. And then I needed another dog to do a couple of other things in the film, and they would only, you know, do certain things I don't want to say in the film. But it's a true story of the life and times of Viking the Greyhound. It is a true story in one sense, but it's also a comedy, and it's also, he's a talking greyhound as well, so there's a lot of imagination added to it. But the base of the film boxed in is the true life and times of Viking.